If you're lazy but want to still reach your goals, we're going to teach you how to overcome procrastination in 3 easy, simple steps. All right. I'm your co host, HT,
I'm CD Barnes.
and this is League of Hustlers, where we prepare to prosper. All right. So, first up, first up, overcoming procrastination. We all deal with it, right? We all have times in our life where we're not motivated. We're just not motivated. We need inspiration. We need some type of tools. We need some type of processes to help us overcome procrastination. All right. So, today we have 3 simple things that you can do to simply overcome procrastination. All right. First up, the first thing that you want to do. All right. One tip is get an accountability partner. All right. Get an accountability partner. Simple steps. All right. So, with that partner, what you want to do is have them hold you accountable, right? Talk to each other, right? Let them know what your goal is. Let them know the steps that you need to take to reach that goal and make sure that they hold you accountable to reaching those steps, right? Have regular check ins. Talk through those issues that you're having, talk through the problems. A lot of times people procrastinate on things because they don't necessarily see a clear way to get done the steps that are necessary to reach the goal. So, what do? You put it to the side. Why? Because of a lack of knowledge, right? You're ignorant to the fact that, oh, I just have to do XYZ, right? If you already know that you just need to do XYZ to accomplish, or take whatever steps to reach the goal, that's a different problem. All right. And that's what we're going to talk about in the next 2 steps. Okay. CD, what do you think about that, bro?
You need an accountability partner. That's a key. Even you have to be held accountable to some degree for what you're saying you're going to do. All right.
Right.
If you're not capable of getting an accountability partner, fine. Then you need to write down whatever it is that you're gonna you gotta find a way to hold yourself accountable, right? So maybe make a dashboard or document somehow, or get a spreadsheet. You need to find some kind of way where you can track your own progress. So that way you can go back here and look at it and hold yourself accountable. So definitely get an accountability partner. If you can't get that, then find ways to hold yourself accountable. The next thing you can do, though, is make sure you're not focusing on the big goal. You want to break this stuff down into steps. And that's a big key to help you with procrastination, breaking items down into smaller steps, simple steps, things that you know you can do. All right. And so, in that way, it helps you to just get started versus looking at the big goal, which may seem impossible or like a difficult task or daunting or just more than what you actually want to get into. If you could just break it down into very small steps, something that you can just start and accomplish, that is a big key to crush your procrastination.
Right. And a lot, like, think about it in terms of this one, right? The big goal could be you want to lose weight, right? Let's say I'll take myself for instance, right? So at one point, you know, I got up to 260, 260, right? This is
When?
I told you about this, but no, I told you when I hit 250, but I went on up to 260.
Well, I didn't know you was climbing that mountain like that, boy.
Right, you know what I mean? And so
Yeah.
I was like, "Yo," the holidays, man,
Right, right,
Thanksgiving,
right.
Christmas, all of that, then some
Yep.
birthdays that, it got to me, bro, and I lost my way, all right? But got up to 260, right? And so I set a goal. I'm like, "Yo, I wanna get down to 225." You know what I
There you
mean?
go.
Boom, right? So once I set that goal for 225, that was it. That's the goal. I'm sticking to it, right? The next thing that I needed to focus on was the actual steps, right? And when we say steps, we're talking about the day to day things that you have to do,
Right.
right? To reach that goal, right? Once you set that goal, leave it alone. It's great. Take your time and really think through that goal. Once you get it solidified, leave it alone. Boom, 225. So from there, I'm like, all right, what do I need to do on a day to day basis to reach 225? Right. And so that included changing my diet. I had to cut back the carbs, right? Cut back the calories. I had to work out. I had to run. I had to do those things that would help me drop that weight. And I can proudly say today, bro, today, I weighed myself today and I'm at 224.6. You
There
see,
you go. There
so
you go.
260, right? 260. And that was like a few months ago, right? I got into like a little program. It wasn't really a program, it was like a group chat with a friend was like, hey, we're gonna do this 75-day challenge. You know what I mean? Shout out to the Fridays from Chambered Up and Blossom and Bliss Fitness. But 75-day challenge, right? And it had, things that you just needed to follow for
Mhm.
every single day. You had to work out, you had to drink a lot of water, and you had to work out every single day. And I did it. You see what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
those were the steps that led up.
Accountability partner, bro.
Right.
You found one online, right?
Yep. Both of them were baked in there. Accountability
Yep.
partner and the steps to actually do it. So you
Yep.
gotta do those day-to-day things. You see what I'm saying? So
Yep.
so yeah, man. That's all I wanted to say about that one. Next up is one really cool tool or thing that you can do is create time blocks, right? Set aside time, right?
Yeah.
I like to set like 45-minute increments. On one of our old episodes, we talked to Dr. Joe White, and he talked about that. And this guy's a multimillionaire, has done all kind of cool stuff, is working with Ronald Isley and stuff right now on some campaigns and stuff. But this guy's like a real hustler, a real mover and shaker, right? And has the track record to prove it. But he talks about setting aside 45 minutes on individual tasks, right? So he'll create a time block and use that time block to focus on one thing, right? Getting that one task done. Whatever it is, set aside a time block for it, right? And just only work on one thing during that time block. Put your phone away, shut your email down, focus on that one thing, right? That way you can have that intense focus, that targeted intense focus on one item that you can execute, right?
Yeah, that's a big part, man. I think you hit the nail on the head when you turn your phone off. You can have your phone on, but during that time block, you need to be focused. And
Right,
we've talked about this in other episodes as well. But it's setting those steps, right? Prioritizing them and actually blocking out time, scheduling time during your day to actually execute them. These it shouldn't just be a thing of I'll get to it when I can or when I have time to do it today
right,
or when I get free time. You have to schedule it the same way you would schedule a meeting, the same way, if you have a job, the same way you get those meetings on the calendar and you have to go.
right,
You got to block time for yourself to actually work on this stuff. And when that time comes, do it. All right. You should have broken these things down into steps that you can actually do. Block that time. When that time shows up, do that task and be done with it. All right. And it's okay too to celebrate. You can celebrate these wins along the way, right?
definitely.
Don't celebrate too much, but you can celebrate along the way,
Right,
whatever it is. I do check boxes. For me, being able to exit off or check it off, strike a line through it is a celebration. That it feels great at the end of the day when I look at my task for the day and I have everything checked off. It feels great. It feels like I won the day. And so each
right,
day, that's my thing. I'm trying to I build a very extensive task list. And then it's a big deal for me to be able to get through them all. Most of because it's difficult essentially,
right.
especially with all the things that could come up in the day. But scheduling time blocks for the important tasks to make sure you get those things done.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. And it's just that simple, right?
Right.
It's just that simple. So that is the secret to reaching all of your dreams and your goals, right? Number 1, get an accountability partner. 2, focus on the steps and not the
Mhm.
goal.
Right.
3, set aside time blocks for intense, focused efforts. All right? And it's just that simple. This has been another episode of the League of Hustlers where we share knowledge to build wealth and help you prepare to prosper. All right? Anything else, bro?
That's it.
Yeah. Make sure you hit us up, questions at leagueofhustlers.com. Also, the Dream Stream strategy. We have it's a whole workbook where we has set it up where you can think through the steps that you need to do to get to your goal, right? So
Right.
check that out. We have episodes on it. Um, yeah, man, that's it. Hit us up. Let's get it. Let's go and follow for more.